Today, I'm going to teach you about debt, what is bad debt, how to pay it off, and good habits you can do to make sure you don't get in debt ever again. Welcome to the High Standing University podcast. My name is Quincy Yoder, aka Q to Go, your soon-to-be favorite smart dumb guy. If you guys have been in tune with the podcast, then you know our last episode we talked about how to start an emergency fund so you can save $1,000. This whole series is based off a plan to become financially stable. So if you're interested, make sure you go down to the playlist where we have episodes 1 and 2 ready for you to view. I don't want to waste too much time here, so make sure you bust out your notes, grab yourself some water, and let's first talk about what is bad debt. I describe bad debt as any debt that is weakening your financial situation. These would be things like high interest credit cards, personal loans, payday loans, auto loans, etc. These are debts that usually aren't meant to make a profit. Therefore, they'll hurt your financial situation or make you pay more money in the future than you realize. For example, if you have a $30,000 auto loan with an 8% interest rate over 5 years, that's not costing you $30,000. It's actually costing you $37,000, and it's not including your fees, title, registration, etc. And you're not using that loan to make money. Therefore, it is hurting your financial situation by making you pay that money in the long term. Therefore, we call it bad debt. Now that you know what bad debt is, you probably know some bad debts you have occurred. It's time to get to the good shit, which is how to pay it off. First thing I want you to do is gather all the debts you have on a piece of paper, and I want you to order them from the highest interest rate down to the lowest interest rate. This is where watching the other podcast episodes is going to come in handy. Because if you watch episodes 1 and 2, you know A, I want you to set a budget, and B, I want you to save $1,000 for emergencies. Now you're going to take that budget and use the money you have left over to put as much money towards extra payments on that high interest debt. And on the other debts you have, I want you to pay the minimum payment. This is called the AVALANCHE method. And it's not only the cheapest, but it's also the quickest way to pay off your debt without incurring a lot of money in interest. It's also good to mention other methods like consolidation. What consolidation is there are companies out there that are willing to take all your debts, your credit card debt, your personal loan, your auto loans, take all your debt together and make a one giant loan where you pay a lower interest rate. You just pay them back like that. This is a great alternative for those with a lot of debt in a lot of places that simply want a cheaper option to pay off their debt. Another method is balance transfers. This is for my people getting ate up by credit card debt. If you have a lot of credit card debt, you can just transfer that debt over to a balance transfer credit card that offers 0% intro APR. And that way you can pay off the debt without incurring any more interest and having to pay more money over time. Disclaimer, there will be like a 3% balance transfer fee, but that is way less than the 25% that you're probably paying in interest right now. Speaking of interest, if you find yourself interested in this content, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button for more content. I post every Wednesday and Friday. So if you're interested in learning more about improving the 4 aspects, mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see more. Okay, now that you know about what bad debt is and how to pay it off, it's now time to talk about healthy habits you need to implement so you don't get in debt again. Number 1 is simple but effective. Make sure you're paying off your credit card bill every month in full. Matter of fact, scratch that. I want you to pay it off every time your purchase gets posted. You should never be paying for stuff on your credit card that you do not have in your debit card. That is how you get in debt quick as fuck. Trust me, I know. This happened to me several times in the last couple years where I'd be like, well, I get paid on Friday and it's Wednesday. I'm gonna have the money regardless. So let me just swipe my credit card. And all of a sudden I got like $90 on my credit card bill that I don't know where it's from. It's some stupid shit like that where your shit just goes up and up and up. And all of a sudden you find yourself in more credit card debt. The next method I want you to try to use is looking at the total price, not just the purchase price. Let's go back to our example of the $30,000 auto loan. We already looked back then and seen that it's not $30,000 that you're paying. You're paying total $37,000, and that's just interest and principal. We're not talking about the title, the fees, and registration. Doing this, looking at the total price instead of the purchase price that you see in the contract, will let you know can you truly afford it, and rather it's having a big dent on your financial situation. And make sure you're not lazy about this either. There are tons of calculators on the internet that will show you how much money you're truly paying with these loans you are trying to get. And the third habit we can talk about is just really living debt free. I'm not one of those Dave Ramsey guys that's all bad. But I will say there are some people that are very irresponsible, whether you give them the one bill method or rather you tell them to pay that bill off in full. And if you're one of those people that's irresponsible with credit, irresponsible with debts, you need to recognize that and just leave it alone. It's better to be debt free than be in a lot of debt. And trust me, I am one of those guys that uses cash back and points to get extra money on things I'm already spending money on. But I do recognize that it might be a good way. It might not be the best way for somebody else's situation. To summarize, guys, pay off all your bad debt. Bad debt is doing nothing but hurting your financial situation. Use the AVALANCHE method for the cheapest and the simplest way to pay off all your debts, and then implement healthy habits so you don't get in debt again. And this has been How to Pay Off Debt. Guys, this is episode 3 in the series about how to become financially stable. In the next episode, we're going to be on our final step, which is how to save 3 to 6 months of your expenses in your emergency account. The purpose of that step will be talked about in the next episode. But thank you guys so much for staying to the end. I appreciate everybody that stopped by, and I'm gone.